Okay, so I want to show you how to modify or delete your categories. You weren't quite sure how to do that. So you would start by going to Post here and then Categories. And as you can see, all of your categories are here on the side. And you'll notice that when you hover over a particular category, you have a menu that shows up with Edit, Quick Edit, Delete, and View. So if you wanted to edit or change the name of the category, you would go to Edit, click on that, and you would have the name of the category, the slug. This we're not going to be worried about that right away. So you would simply change the name of the category. For example, let's call it Patterns, just as an example. And you would also want to change the slug. The slug is whatever comes after the slash in a website URL. So for example, webtile.com/demo, demo is the slug. And you want to try as much as possible to have the slug match the name of the page or category that you're on, so that it makes it easier for people to find the page. For example, they could type in www.graphictrendsource.com/patterns. If the slug is bright here and it hasn't been changed to patterns, well, that URL, graphictrendsource.com/patterns, won't go anywhere. It will have to be graphictrendsource.com/bright to get to the patterns page. So you can see how that can get confusing. So you'd want to change this as well to patterns or whatever the name of your category, and then you click Update. I'm not going to do that. I'll let you decide which categories you want to edit, but that's the basic idea. Now, I just hit back and the changes will not be made. So I'm still on bright here. And if I wanted to delete the category, I would just hit delete here. It will remove the category. So as you can see, it's pretty simple to add and modify or delete categories. The next thing would be, you asked me about pages, how to change titles and so forth, and how to change the menu. So I'm going to go to all pages here, and specifically you had asked me how to change the About to About GTS. So I'm going to start off with my About page here. I'm going to go to Edit. Same basic idea as with the categories. You can edit, delete the pages just by going to Pages here and hovering over the actual page. That Edit, Quick, Delete, and View menu pops up. So this is the title of the page here. This is what shows up on the page itself. So you would want to modify About GTS here. Same basic idea as the categories. You see the permalink here shows you what this page's URL is. Now when we set up your site and finish everything off, it will be graphictrendsource.com/aboutus. But since your page is about GTS, you probably want to convert that to About GTS. So now your page title matches your page link, so that's always a good thing. You hit Update, and if you go see the page, your menu is now About GTS here. And you can see it also converted About GTS here in the menu as well. So that does it automatically. But I want to show you something. I set it up to do it automatically, but it may not always. So I just want to show you one last thing, how you can control these menu items here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to Appearance here. I'm going to go to this thing, Menus here. Click on that. And as you can see, your main navigational menu is here. So you can change the order. You can put illustrations on top here. It's just a simple click and drag. Hit Save Menu. And now if you go back to your website, Illustration and Trends will have changed. So Illustrations is here, Trends is here. Just bring that back together. Go to bring that here. You can also change the navigation label. So I could just have about here, leave it as such, just that's it, nothing else, just do save menu. And now if I go to my page, visit site, I can see that we have the about as we did previously. I click on that. Now you can see there's not a mismatch, but your page menu item is about, because we just changed that, but your title is still about GTS because we didn't touch the page itself, we just touched the menu. So if you wanted to bring this back to about GTS, you would leave this as such, and you would go to the about GTS and remove the GTS from that title area. Now let's bring this back. Go back to the menu here. The menu, by the way, doesn't like using the back button, so just click it a couple times when you're playing in the menu itself. So I'm going to go back here, I'm going to put the about GTS here. I'm going to hit save menu. And if I go back to the website, about GTS is now there. I'm going to have to play a bit with the CSS layout of this because we added a larger title. It's now uncentered. The menu bars are not centered with the logo, so we're just going to have to move it a bit to the side here. That's something I'll take care of today or tomorrow once we figured out other parts of the site. But anyway, the idea is you have to make sure that you have to understand that it's not infinite, the possibilities for modifying this menu on your own, in that you can't put, for example, phrases up here, or if you put just long words like illustration, 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 or example, if you wanted to put contact GTS here to work with the about GTS, well, there's a strong chance that it would get completely uncentered and then the contact would actually fall here because there's a specific width allowed. And I'd say that right now with the width of this menu, the whole menu itself, we're pretty much pushing the limits of the width. So if I added another button, well, this contact would probably fall down. So you can play around with the menus themselves, move them around and so forth. If you want to add a bunch of more menus, just let me know and we'll figure out a way to make this smaller. I'm sorry, to make the width larger or the button smaller. But I just wanted to show you how you can play around with your menus. So one last thing as well. We talked about in your email sorry about that, why some pages, when you updated it, for example tutorials, you updated the page, it didn't change itself, the page, because your tutorials here is category. You can see we have page, we have category. If I go here in the pages, I have tutorials page. If I go down here, I have the categories itself, and I have the tutorials category. So what this does is when you click, for example, if I click here, I don't know, let me do here, if I click tutorials and add to menu, well, it's the tutorials category. If I do tutorial, I'm just going to do remove here. If I do tutorials page, add to menu, then it's the page. So then when you would go to page here and modify the tutorials page, it would modify this tutorials here. But what we're doing right now is, because we're in the process of still figuring out the static versus posts, the tutorials page itself is the category. So when we're finished deciding the parts of the pages that will be static and which parts will be recent posts, then what we'll do is you'll just send me the text for the static text at the above every category, and we're just going to implement it. But I just wanted you to see that the menu can show the page or the category. And so, I don't know, I hope that wasn't confusing the way I explained it, but this is why if you want to update the About GTS page, you would go to Pages. If you want to update whatever's being shown in the illustrations, you would go to Category and make those changes. But again, this will all become simpler as we move towards completing the website. So I hope that helped. If you have any questions, just let me know.